So let's take a look at an image manipulation technique referred to as posterizing. Perhaps you've seen a large poster where there was a color image, but it wasn't a full color, realistic looking photograph, but rather the color had been reduced to a minimum number of colors, perhaps 2, perhaps 16. Rather than being shades of red, there's just red. Instead of being shades of blue, there's just blue. That's the sort of technique we're going to take a look at doing here. We're going to have an input of a color photograph, and in our particular example here, we're going to reduce that to 2 colors, in our case, dark gray and white. It could be any colors, but those are just the colors I've chosen for this example demonstration. What we're going to do is take our input picture, loop through all of the pixels, just as we often have many times before for pixel in, get pixels of picture. I'm going to grab the red value, the green value, and the blue value by using the get red, get green, get blue that we've seen before. And then I'm calculating the luminance. You may remember doing this back in the days of grayscale, where I'm adding the 3 component values together, dividing by 3 using integer division so we get a real number back. Although technically whether we get a real number or not doesn't really matter, because we're not going to use that other than in an if statement. And so our if statement is to look at that luminance value, the average of the 3 component values, and if it's less than 100, we're going to set our pixel to dark gray. If it's more than or equal to 100, we're going to set it to white. Now remember, the smaller the values are, the darker the image, the bigger the numbers are, the lighter the image. And so that maybe that relationship makes sense. If it's under 100, then we're going to call it dark, because maximum value is 255. So we're on the dark end of the middle. And if it's on the high end, then we're going to set it to white. So let's run this code and see what it looks like. I've run this earlier, so I'm just going to reuse some of my commands. So let's choose Big Ben, and we will run that through our posterize to color function, and we'll show the resulting picture. And that came in off screen, so let me drag it in for us, and here we go. I also have the original from before we converted, so you can compare. Now in this case, our posterizing was posterizing the many colors of the original photograph to just 2. And so we've got the dark gray and the white. You could create a posterize function that would generate any number of colors. Perhaps 3, perhaps 6, perhaps 16. Any number of different ways you could shrink the number of colors down to a smaller number. For purposes of this example, I've simply chosen to do 2, dark gray and white. And so you'll notice the darker parts of the tower result in the dark gray. There's also part of the sky that's resulted in dark gray, and that's just these dark blue areas up here are just dark enough that they are coming in as dark gray, as opposed to the lighter colors that are just a little bit lighter blue are turning white. So let me close the pictures. Again, there's the code. We grab the values, we calculate a value, we check to see if it's above or below a threshold that we arbitrarily set, and then we set the colors based on that threshold. If you have questions about the code, please reach out to me. We'll see you in class.